What is up? It's episode 12 of the Orlando Show. How the fuck are we doing, everybody? Everyone got a Super Bowl hangover? Hell yeah. So we'll go through the order of operations for this pod. Pretty much I'm going to start recapping the Super Bowl. Then we'll talk about UFC 312. And then after that, I'll kind of give a position group by position group overview of the 49ers season. So let's get into the Super Bowl, baby. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Thank God. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs lost to the Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, thank God, man. Honestly, Philly deserved it. For being someone who's a Niner fan and hating on Philly, they deserved that Super Bowl. I mean, Saquon Barkley had a crazy year. I think he had the most yards ever in an entire season by a running back. He did the freaking backwards jump over the Jacksonville player early in the year. He had the run in the snow where he's hitting his head. That was badass as fuck. It was just Philly's year, honestly. And then I love Jalen Hurts. I just like his poise. He doesn't remind me of Michael Jordan in the fiery competitor way, but in the calmness and when bullets are flying. Jalen Hurts is really like that. And I think the Eagles' O-line was the biggest O-line in recorded history. They had like 1,800 pounds between the five O-linemen, all 6'6". So all monsters, dude. Like, Philly really had that going. And then defensively for Philly, fucking Cooper DeJean, baby, the white corner, the unicorn, freaking getting a pick six, taking it to the house, breaking the color barrier for all those white boys out there. There's going to be a lot of white corners coming. Everyone get the fuck ready. There's a lot of white corners coming down the pipe now. Our Jackie Robinson has been found, dude. It was crazy. And then Philly's D-line pretty much did what the Giants did back in the day when they beat Tom Brady's Patriots, when they broke that perfect season. They pretty much just rushed forward, didn't blitz, and hit the shit out of poor Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes was getting freaking tombstone pile drivers put on him. He was getting choke slammed. Dude, that D-line was beating the fuck out of him. And if you're an Eagles fan, you better thank the University of Georgia for that Super Bowl, because your entire D-line was all Georgia D-linemen, all University of Georgia defensive linemen, dude, all your entire D-line. So thank the South for that Super Bowl, Philly. But, yeah, that was crazy to watch. Ding dong, the witch is dead. I was so happy to watch Mahomes lose, just to see Philly do it. And then we beat Philly in the NFC Championship game last year, so as a Niner fan, we kind of feel like we kind of dog-walked y'all. But, hey, good for you guys, good for Philly, good for the dub. So that's my Super Bowl recap. Poor Patrick Mahomes. And then Travis Kelce looked slow. The Chiefs had their left guard, Joe Thuney, playing left tackle, which he was out of position. Their all-pro right guard, Trey Smith, was getting beat like a drum by that entire D-line, Kansas City's O-lineman, Trey Smith. So it was just a tough game overall for them, man. They were just getting beat up. That was a game as an O-line. You all look at each other and you're like, oh, we're about to lose this shit. Like, oh, we're single-handedly, we're going to lose this game. Oh, great. So, but shout out Philly. We'll get into UFC 312. So UFC 312, I'm just going to do the co-main and the main event. The co-main was Weili Zhang versus Tatiana Suarez, which, I thought Tatiana Suarez was going to Khabib her. I thought Tatiana was going to go in there with her American wrestling and kind of dominate Weili. But, man, Weili was tough as all nails, dude. Weili was kneeing her, was elbowing her off the break when she would get close to her on a takedown, but she would kind of just jack her up on the takedown and then just start elbowing her and then disengage. So Weili is an all-timer. And then in the main event, we had Dricus Still Knox Duplessis versus Sean Strickland. If you paid $80 for this, you're an idiot. Like, if you pay for a Sean Strickland fight, you're not going to get your money's worth, man. Like, I didn't pay for this. This was the first UFC card in years that I haven't paid for. And I'm happy I didn't, because Dricus beat the hell out of him. Sean did his typical teep and jab and just kept himself safe. And Dricus was coming forward with weird combinations, trying to land some takedowns. Dricus is built like a brick shithouse. I like Dricus Duplessis. I think he gets finishes. He's an entertaining fighter. I don't know how he goes against Khamzat, though, man. Khamzat Chimaev coming up. That's the next fight at middleweight championship, is Khamzat Chimaev versus Dricus Duplessis. I don't know, man. Khamzat's wrestling, man. He could beat anyone in the world, I feel like. But Dricus is also really strong, and Dricus has his own pretty high level of grappling. So that fight's actually super interesting. I'm excited for that. Before I get into the 49ers season review, or season overview, This idea came to me today, and you know what the UFC should do? Because Conor has no fights currently. Conor McGregor has no fights. There's no one to fight for him because any fight he gets, he's going to get his shit kicked out of him, right? If he fights any current welterweight or lightweight, they're going to fuck him up. They're just ready to go, and he's not. He's doing cocaine on a yacht. But I think you sign Nate Diaz to a 2-fight contract if you're the UFC, and here's what you do. You have Nate Diaz fight Dustin Poirier next. Dustin Poirier needs someone for his retirement fight. I love Dustin. I think Dustin versus Nate is a great retirement fight for Dustin, and it's a legend fight, and it's a payday for both of them, so I think you do that. But after that fight, you still have Nate on a deal. I say you do Nate Conor 3. Fuck it. Let Conor do coke. Let Nate smoke weed. Make it even. Fucking put it in Abu Dhabi or put it on an island or in New York or something. But Conor Nate 3 needs to happen. On the same level that Aspinall John Jones needs to happen. That needs to happen in 2025. We can't have a Fedor versus Brock Lesnar here where we're not going to know who the best heavyweight on earth is. We need it. That's the fight MMA needs, is Aspinall versus John Jones. The new generation versus the old guard. Who is better? So, yeah, that's my little UFC spiel. All right, so getting into the Niners 2024 season review. So we're going to start at quarterback. We'll go Brock Purdy. I thought he played pretty well up until the Buffalo game in the snow. I think after that either he got hurt or he just didn't play very well. But overall, I think we pay him the money. I think he'll be fine. I think we'll win Super Bowls with Purdy. On the running back side of things, I think someone had a voodoo doll and was stabbing Christian McCaffrey's calves. Like, someone was just fucking with McCaffrey all year this year. It was a weird year for him. I think he'll be back to form like he was the year before. I think we'll be fine. McCaffrey's a dog. And Jordan Mason balled the fuck out as a backup running back, who I talked about in another clip. So I think we'll be fine. Let's go O-line. Trent Williams at left tackle, beast. One of the best left tackles of all time, and he's playing another year, so we're fine there. Left guard, Aaron Banks. I thought he was solid. I think he was fighting some injury stuff this year too, so hopefully he can come back next year and be strong. Okay, center, Jake Brendel. I have nothing against you, buddy, but holy shit, you were bad this year. He was the 32nd rated center in the NFL, so yeah, I think he's gone. I think we could go through the draft, or we could pick up a good center in free agency, but center is a big need for us right now. And then right guard, Dominic Pooney, balling his ass off this year. Best rookie O-lineman in the NFL in pass and run, so I think he's a gem. I think we'll be good there. Now, right tackle Colton McKivitz. He's all right. I don't hate him as much as other people do. I think he's serviceable. Finding a good right tackle in the NFL is extremely hard, so he does it for us, but I do think this year in free agency we need to either draft or we need to get a good free agent to compete with him at right tackle. Let's see, tight end, fucking George Kittle, one of the better years of his career. Love George Kittle. He's going to be a Niner forever. Love that guy. One of my favorite Niners. If you watch this, George Kittle, thank the Lord. That'd be crazy. Okay, receivers. So, Deebo Samuel has requested a trade. Bye-bye, good riddance. Have fun sucking dick in Tennessee or fucking the Raiders or Jacksonville. Here's my little opinion, though. I say we take Deebo and some picks, and we go for Myles Garrett straight up. Send him to Cleveland. I think that's a fair trade. I think they're both kind of older players. I think that trade's doable, but that's just me. That's what I'd do in Madden. So let's get to the defensive side of the ball. First of all, Devondre Campbell. I don't know if you guys know. Our linebacker in place of Dre Greenlaw, who tore his Achilles, he quit. He quit on us this year. He fucking quit. He's the only player in the NFL history, in the 60 to 100-year career of the NFL, he's the only player to fucking quit during a game. That is crazy. Now, I'm going to preface it with this. I wish nothing bad on him as a man. As a man, I hope his family's healthy. I hope he has kids. I hope he's doing great. But I hope he sells insurance. I hope professionally, as a football player, I hope he's not allowed around a high school field. I hope he's not allowed around a college field, dude. Get the fuck out of here, man. I hope football excommunicates him. That's the biggest douchebag teammate move you can do, is to quit on your team. That is crazy. No one's ever dealt with that ever. That's never happened. There was one player that retired at halftime because he didn't have it anymore. But that's like okay, fine. But to quit, to be like, no, I'm not playing anymore, and just walk off, like, So that was crazy. That was kind of a little microcosm of how bad our year was. Like, of course, some motherfucker just quits in the middle of a game. Oh, I was so mad about that, dude. I'm happy I get that out now. God, I hated that. But, so, we'll start with the D-line. Nick Bosa had an underwhelming year, but I do think if we get Myles Garrett, or we could get Max Crosby, right? We could trade Debo and some picks for Max Crosby. So there's things to be done. I think with Robert Saleh as our D coordinator, we'll be fine. Our defense will be ready to go. But, yeah, D-line-wise, Leonard Floyd, Nick Bosa didn't play great. Linebacker-wise, Fred Warner was doing everything he could with, I think he had a broken bone in his ankle too through this year, so he was doing all he could. He was playing all right, but the defense was just bad around him. We had Devondre Campbell playing with him all year, who was terrible, so fuck him. Good riddance. Bye, later. God, that still pisses me off. That's the worst thing you can do as a teammate. I can't even, like, that's never happened in the NFL. I don't know how I can preface that more. Like, that's never happened in the NFL. So, secondary-wise, I am happy we re-signed Lenore. I think Diamador Lenore was our best corner, and I think if we build a cornerback room around him, we'll be dogs. He's really good. Hufanga's going to hit free agency more than likely, and so is Dre Greenlaw. So I wish those players well. They were both kind of injury-prone through their time with us, but showed flashes of what they could be. So I wish nothing but the best for them. Overall, as a Niner fan, pretty sad, but I do think we'll reload next year. I do think we'll make a deep playoff push next year. We'll be fine. Paying Brock Purdy is going to be interesting, and how we handle the draft is also going to be interesting. I wouldn't be opposed to trading up and trying to get like Travis Hunter or something, but that's like wishful fan thinking. I don't really know. But, yeah, other than that, that's pretty much all I got on my mind. I got some stand-up dates, too. I got Lariat Tavern in Belmont. The February 28th, so please come out to that. Yeah, in Belmont, I'll have the flyer for that. And then March 9th, I will be doing a show at The Function at 7 p.m. So March 9th, mark your calendars. Come see me, and peace, motherfuckers.